Welcome to a guide on how to start a prosperous and working colony in InfraSpace, a city builder on alien planets. By watching this video, you will learn how to pick the best starting spot on the map, which resource combinations to look for, how to lay out your colony, what is a good build order, and much more. I will explain to you the more complex game mechanics like leveling up your colony's habitats and with them your entire colony, production chains, how research for new tech is accomplished, traffic management and the road setup, as well as everything else you need to start in InfraSpace. My name is Peter and guides like this are just one type of video I produce on my channel. If you're interested to see what else you can learn about strategy games, use this link up here or in the description below. When you start a new colony in InfraSpace, you first have to survey your map. Your goal is to find a location which offers the following three things: a wide open space for buildings, all resource types from sulfur to uranium around that spot, and iron, copper and sulfur in close proximity to each other. You will see the reasons for all this as we build up this colony. Once you have located such a spot on the map, you zoom to its center, open up the roads menu and use the gravel roads to create a small piece of road where the future spaceport will be constructed. You don't need it yet because the game starts with 20 colonists already on the map available to work in your buildings. Zoom out, pick the closest sulfur deposit and draw a road to it. Watch out for the pillars if you have different elevations, because you cannot add buildings to roads with pillars. Draw the road in small sections to avoid this. Once you get a road right next to a sulfur deposit, open up the small mine building menu and pick the sulfur mine. It has to be placed right on the edge of the deposit to operate. Rotate it using the Q and E keys so the drill bits are pointed towards the deposit. From the back of it, a road section will connect it to any roads you place near it. Once you build a miner, go back to the road tool, click on the regular gravel road, disable the angle and straight road options and turn on the curved road option. This will let you place a curved road around the sulfur deposit. It has to be far enough from the deposit so additional drills can be placed there. Connect all the roads and in the build menu open up the factory section and choose the concrete factory. It needs to be placed right across the street from the miner as it will receive an efficiency bonus there. Go back to placing roads and set one right behind the concrete factory with space to spare. Because production of concrete requires both sulfur and sand, you want to place a sand mine right here. If there isn't enough room for it, you need to move the road a bit using this move tool from the bottom right menu bar. Click on the blue circle on the road and pull it down. Do the same on the other end of the road. Now you will have enough room for a sand mine. Note the additional efficiency boost to the concrete factory. Next you need power. It is provided by building a wind turbine. Its circular overlay is not the power range, but the efficiency range. If you place another one inside that circle, both will lose efficiency. For the power to flow, attach a power pole to the wind turbine and move it in range of the mines and factory. Its yellow circle is the power range. Unpausing the game will let everything start working. These buildings will employ some of your starting colonists. On the top left bar, turn on the production overview to see the production and consumption of resources. Red numbers for sand indicate that the production is lower than consumption and that you need another sand mine. The factory quickly confirms this with the warning sand icon. Move the power pole if it is in the way and add a new sand mine, again close to the concrete factory to increase its efficiency even further. Now in the production overview, you will see that you have enough sand production. Because buildings have internal stockpiles which are very limited, you have to provide them with an additional storage building. It is found in the miscellaneous build menu and it is called construction material storage. Place it close to the concrete factory. Now enable the straight road tool and lay out some long sections of road at 90 degrees to each other. While the game does offer curved roads, no structures are curved. That means you are far better off with straight roads because the buildings will more easily snap to those. Each building does have an entrance road which provides some wiggle room when placing a structure, making curved roads a valid option. But the fact remains you will end up losing a lot of room between structures because of them. In the center of your road layout, place several basic habitats one next to each other. These require power, oxygen and food to accommodate colonists. But before that, you can add the spaceport at the location we started drawing roads from. Once again, use a wind turbine and set up a power pole to extend the power network. For the oxygen, you need the atmosphere processor, which has no input but the outside air, and it produces both oxygen and carbon. This building is best placed close to your habitats as it has to deliver the oxygen by trucks, so the shorter the delivery distance, the better for your colonists. Try to always draw new roads off the main roads for new buildings, as you will want main roads clear of buildings so traffic can flow through them uninterrupted. Later you will upgrade these roads to bigger and wider roads or even highways, and that is another reason you do not want buildings on them. Now, if you have found this video useful so far, please don't mind me asking you to hit that like button and tell me what you think about the game. Subscribe if you haven't already to see my next videos when I post them. Once the atmosphere processor is placed, it also needs power, so extend the poles to it as well. As it produces oxygen, it will send out its trucks to the nearest habitats, while the carbon will be stockpiled until it can be used. Do not worry, it won't stop producing oxygen once carbon storage is maxed out. It will just waste the excess carbon. But to prevent that waste, let's find a use for it. Over at the top left, the first icon is for research. Here you will spend research packs on unlocking new tech. But to produce research packs, you need new buildings from the research build menu, the blue science pack factory. It uses iron and carbon to produce those blue research packs, which are spent in the research lab on unlocking new tech. However, this all requires a lot of workers, so you need to wait a bit for the shuttles to bring in new colonists. They will drive to and start living in your new habitats. While we now have carbon production, the Blue Science Pack factory also requires iron, which we do not yet produce. That is why we need to place an iron mine at one of the nearby deposits. Now you might be tempted to use the nearest one right away, but it is actually better for you to choose the one a bit farther off. This might seem counterintuitive considering efficiency and delivery times are a factor, but doing so will make you pile up a lot of structures in a small area, which will create spatial problems later on. So pick the iron deposit which is not the nearest. Draw a road to it, curve a road around the deposit, and add new wind turbines across the road. Now place the iron mine at the edge of the deposit to have room for many more such mines in the future. As before, use the power poles to extend power to the mine. Once that one becomes operational, you need to set up a new set of roads for the additional Blue Science Pack factories. These also provide efficiency bonuses, but for the next type, the green ones, so expect to place them in tight layouts. The research lab should be placed nearby as it is the delivery location for the research packs produced at science factories. All of this needs power, but we have learned how to do that by now. The Blue Science Pack factory requires iron, and if we travel to the iron mine, we will find a column of trucks loaded with iron which are already en route from it. Most mines will produce far more resources than just one building requires, so there is a constant need to adjust producers with consumers. That is the reason you should always keep the production overview open. Make sure to click on the first tech to mark it for research once production of research packs starts. To be able to research more advanced tech, you first need to upgrade your colony status. This you can track using the city level overview. It will show you how many citizens of which level you need for your city to grow to the next level and unlock the new set of technologies. To advance to the settlement level, you need at least 5 citizens at level 2. This requires their homes, their habitats, being at level 2, and that happens only once those habitats are supplied with both oxygen and food. So once the first tech is researched, you unlock the necessary food production building. As before, you want to place totally new roads for these buildings, but closer to your habitats to reduce delivery times. One simple farm is enough for the current colony size. It also uses trucks to deliver food to nearby habitats. The production rate is low, and since your habitats have no food, you might want to add more than just one farm to speed up the deliveries. This will result in overproduction, but it is better than sitting around for 10 minutes waiting for one farm to fill up all the habitats. This is another reason why you do not want more than 3 or 4 habitats when starting a new game, because you would need even more support buildings to supply them. These would need workers, which you do not have, since very few new colonists moved in. Patience is key here, as well as running the game at double speed. After a while, the first habitats will level up to level 2 and change their appearance and maximum number of colonists they can house. This will level up your city and unlock new tech for research. Your next tech choice can be steel production, as steel is another main building material besides concrete. The new city objective is to get 300 citizens living in level 3 habitats. You will achieve this by unlocking new tech, building new production chains, delivering more complex goods to habitats, and expanding your colony. The steel mill is to be placed next to iron mines because it will get an efficiency bonus there. You will need a new supply of carbon, so add a new atmosphere processor. Also, add another construction material storage building close to the steel mill. When you unlock the electronics factory, select the home appliances as the next stack. You have now unlocked the copper mine as well. Pick a copper deposit close to your iron mine, set up a road around the deposit, and place the first copper mine. Across the street, build the electronic factory to receive an efficiency bonus. Make sure to have a road between your iron mine and the electronic factory for iron deliveries and set up the power. Whenever your habitats are all leveled up, add fresh ones so they too can level up and be homes for higher level citizens. Keep doing this while increasing the production of chips, oxygen, and food. When the home appliances factory is unlocked, it is time to finish this new production chain. The electronics factory will supply the chips, while an iron mine will supply the iron. Place the appliances factory in a new section of roads, but close to the habitats. Power it up and make sure you have a good supply of resources for it. Add new such factories as the demand for home appliances grows, and even overbuild a bit to level up your habitats faster. This will require more iron production, and now you can start exploiting new iron deposits from across the city in order to reduce the amount of delivery trucks moving along the same roads. Every new blue science pack factory you add will also consume iron, so try to plan out your layout to coincide with the resource delivery routes. As soon as one of your habitats receives adequate delivery of home appliances, it will go up to level 3 and with it the citizens living there. If you are impatient, add more home appliance factories to speed up the leveling process. Do note this requires more chips, so add more electronic factories and iron mines. Soon you will need to unlock Green Tech, and with it Green Science Pack Factory. It consumes chips, blue science packs, and sulfur, so this complicates the supply chain significantly. It is best placed in the center of blue science factories as it gains major effectiveness bonuses from them. From here on end, it's just a process of increasing the capacity of all production chains, starting with mines and processing facilities and all the way to end consumer products. You should research one tech at a time until you unlock concrete roads. These are accessible on the second road option by clicking on the number 2 icon in the road build menu. They provide a significant speed boost to vehicles, so spend some time upgrading all roads to this new type using the upgrade road tool option. As time goes on, you will eventually reach 300 citizens living in level 3 habitats, and your whole city will level up, unlocking even more new sweet technology. One of these technologies lets you build power substations. These buildings act as a huge wireless transmitters of power. They do have to be connected to power production buildings, but not consumers. After unlocking 4-lane roads, start upgrading the road network of your colony on all the major delivery routes and main intersections. This is why in the beginning of the guide I said not to build on main roads, but only on extra roads inside the main road network. Upgrading roads from 2 lanes to 4 lanes takes up more space, and most buildings on them will require some shuffling around to fit in the new configuration. Luckily, the game's fantastic move option will provide all the help you need with that. Once you finally unlock the park, you will see why we left so much room between habitats. This thing is just massive and wouldn't fit any small zone left open. You can add a few more, not only to satisfy the population, but also to beautify the city. With these in place, you just have to keep following the same rules. More buildings will require more resources, which means larger production chains. More citizens will require more habitats, which need more oxygen, power, food, appliances, parks, and so on. And leveling up citizens to reach new milestones means researching and developing entirely new production chains. The next milestones are very far off, and I will leave those for another video. I want to thank you for watching, and I wish you all happy gaming.